Hi guys. Okay, so this video serves as a review of last week's activity, and you will want to access this video for any part of the lesson that seemed a little bit over your head, maybe just need to review, refresh that specific function. I know there were a lot of things we did. I think you guys did pretty well. So that's what we'll do with this video. So I'll just go ahead and begin. So if you recall, we clicked on the cougar. We right-clicked that cougar, copied it, went into Photoshop, and we created a new document. Now you can go to File New, or you can do Control-N. Both will get you to the same result. Remember, you want to put your first initial last name underscore, and for our actual project you're going to type in the word concept and then logo. Okay, and then you're going to say OK, and then you will paste that picture onto your screen using the Control-V function. I'm going to go ahead and go into the background layer, make that active, and fill that with a chosen color. Now you can go either in the swatches palette or you can choose directly into the colors palette. I'm going to go into the colors palette and do Option Delete. Now you can see the color change directly in the layers palette, but in order to see it on the canvas, we have to get rid of this white area around the cougar. I'm going to name the cougar layer, and I'm going to call it cougar, of course. Hit the return key to apply that edit. I'm going to take my magic eraser. Now remember, the magic eraser is embedded below the regular eraser tool. Letter E on the keyboard is the hotkey. And so then what you're going to want to do is click on the white area around the cougar to eliminate that white, and then also that section that's isolated between the tail and the leg. I'm going to resize that cougar, Control T for free transform, and very important that you hold down Shift and drag that corner to resize. Holding Shift will constrain the width and the height together to maintain that ratio. Hit the return key to apply that transformation. Next step we're going to do is we're going to select that cougar. We need ants, marching ants around that image. I'm going to go ahead and do Control-0 first so we can see a little bit bigger size of my canvas. Okay, so now I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to click the thumbnail directly in the layers palette. Notice now that I have the ants. I'm going to choose a color from my color palette, something different than the background, and I'm going to hold down Option and hit Delete. As you know, that's filling with the foreground color, the same way we color the background. I'm going to get rid or deselect the ants, and do that by the hotkeys, Control D. After that, we're going to apply or add a type layer. So in the toolbar, you'll see the letter T. Okay, slight interruption there. I've been getting some announcements during this tutorial. So we're back. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and click on the canvas, and you should see a flashing cursor. Now my flashing cursor is quite large. You can see up in the option bar it's set to 274. I'm going to go ahead and type out my concept word, and I'm going to choose all caps, FAST. I'm going to move it in place, and all you need to do is bring your cursor below that type field, and you'll see that move tool. Okay, that move tool shows up automatically while you're still in the edit mode. Now, in order to change anything, you can double click the T in the thumbnail and your text will highlight. So I could, if I want, I could change my type to a number of different font families. Okay, And so I'm just going to stay at a fatter type of font, and you see I'm using Poplar now, Poplar Standard. Originally I had that Impact, but they seem to be very similar in nature. And I can also go to this character palette and make some adjustments there, as you can see. And so there's a number of options at your disposal, which is quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that up, and what we have here are 3 layers. We have my fast type layer, we have a cougar layer showing that shape, and we have that background color. Okay, very important that you are aware at all times what exists in each individual layer. So keep that in mind. Now, I want my cougar layer to be above the fast layer. And as you see, the fast type is sitting above the cougar, but I want the cougar in front. So how do I do that? I merely take my cursor, grab hold of that layer, and I can drag that upward. When I see a dark line above, as I'm pointing right now, I'll know for certain that this is going to embed and switch those that layer order. So I'm going to do that right now. As you see, the result is successful. Okay, moving forward. I'm going to now take my move tool. That would be letter V on the keyboard. That's your hotkey, letter V, or you can just go right to this arrow right here. And that's the move tool. And what that allows me to do is move my elements freely. Now, if I hold Control down, that allows me to grab different elements. And what that does is it'll automatically switch my layer activity. You can see to the right my layers are switching from one to the next, and that's because I'm holding down Control. Now I'm going to go ahead and resize my cat, Control T, holding down Shift to change it proportionately, hit Return to apply, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to put my fast type right there, and it doesn't matter where you put it. You can put it anywhere you want. I like it in this position, and so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my type layer to a smart object. So I'm going to right click directly on the layer itself and choose Convert to Smart Object. Right away what you should see is that now the layer has changed from a type layer to a raster layer. So this word fast is no longer editable. Or is it? Actually it is. If you click on the smart object itself, it tells you that you'll be able to edit the contents, but you have to save it in order to do that. So I'm going to click OK, and it will bring up a new window. And this is if I want to change the font on the fly. I don't want to, but I'll just show you how to do it. Double click to highlight, and again you can change that this way. That's not a good type. That might be. Now if it does go outside of the box, you know that it's too big. So I'm going to go ahead and lower that font size so that it fits inside that box. And this one does. I'm going to click Save, and you'll see right away that it changes it in the master file. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to undo this because I like the previous one. So I'm going to do Control Option Z, and I'm back to my original effect. So now I'm going to take my cougar. Actually, I'm going to stay in my fast layer. I'm going to hold down Control and select the cougar. Now you don't have to be in the cougar layer to get it selected, but I am going to Control click the thumbnail in order to do that. But now I'm going to take my marquee tool and move this guy down. Okay? I'm still in the fast layer. Now this selection is in the shape of that cougar, but I want the effect to stay within that fast layer. So now I'm going to go to the filter option up here in the menu, and I'm going to go to blur and down to motion blur. And at that point, actually I'm getting ahead of myself. So I could do it this way, but I want to stop, cancel that. I'm going to make actually a mask. So again, we have the shape of the cat. being shown here with the selection ants, the marching ants. So I'm going to click on the layer mask down here that looks like a gray rectangle with a white circle. So I'm going to click on that, and what we get is this funny shape here. Notice on the layers, in the layers palette, you have that thumbnail mask. But we want to reverse that, so I'm going to go ahead and do Control I. And this is actually the effect we want. Black hides whatever mask is being affected, okay? In fact, this face is being affected by the black image of the cat. That's serving as a mask. The white area is non-masked, so it reveals everything, except, again, of the black, for the black shape. So now I'm going to go into the filter, go to blur, and I'm going to add that Gaussian, or that motion blur. And that just sort of gives it that fun little effect where the cat might be leaping above. Now I could go into the cat layer and move it maybe downwards so that it sort of fits an obvious fit, and that's kind of the effect I'm looking for. Okay, so that kind of concludes the lesson. I know this was a lot to handle for our very first lesson, but I wanted you to see the functionality of the layers palette. I wanted you to understand how you can manipulate elements independent of each other, something you couldn't do if everything was on one background layer as it could have been. But we wanted to separate those elements so that one element didn't affect the other. Okay, and there you have it. So we have the ability to move those elements, and we can create those effects without one affecting the other. Okay, you are going to then find your own concept word. You're going to find an image that illustrates that concept and do similar effects. So please use this video to help you and assist you, and I'll help you as well. Thank you.